told back then now made sense to me once I found out about the truth about the Vietnam War. So that was my aha moment, February of 2002.
You know, I just came across an article yesterday discussing that America's looking for another war to get into, you know?
Unfortunately, yes, we are. And it looks like it might be Venezuela at this point.
And that's sad.
This system that is in place, this machine, if you will, that has been in place for a very long time. We're just, many of us are just waking up to it. I've only been awake to it for 18 years, 17 years. But many of it, I remember people when I was growing up going, oh, about this and about that. I'm going, you guys are crazy. Now I look back and I think, why was it that I refused to accept what they were saying? Is it because what they were saying is so crazy? It sounds so crazy to people. You talk about some of the things that these people have done, just unspeakable things, and people look at you like you've grown another head. That's worse than the worst horror film that anybody's ever. That's even beyond the thought of a horror film. That something like that could be real, but that's the reality of it, and that's what I had to face. And I think more and more people are waking up to it. I mean, in my experience, it appears that more and more people are waking up to what is going on. We have been lied to. We have been deceived repeatedly on many, many levels. It's not just about the wars. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. Everything, our entire lives revolves around lies. Even some of our history is inaccurate because the winners decide to write what they want to write. And so people like me and people like you and Jennifer and Angel, we're constantly striving for that what is the truth? Sometimes, I got to tell you, sometimes it takes a toll on you. I know for me it does. It takes a toll because you find out what you find out and you have to come to terms with that. It's not pretty, some of this stuff.
Angel, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, all I can say is I have brothers, and both of them were the ages where that almost could have been in the Vietnam War. And my father, who was very connected, said, I will cut your trigger finger off before I let you go into that phony baloney.
God bless him. God
and
bless
he
him.
meant it. My brothers graduated one of them in 1972. Annapolis and West Point trying to recruit. My father said no. And I'm talking, we're patriots to the core, to the bone. But my father knew exactly what was going on and said, you'll fight for the country here on this soil, but you're not going on anybody else's soil to fight for somebody that's a war machine trying to make money.
Right. I don't know what I did back then, and many of my friends did. And it was the hippie area. I graduated in 71, so I was right behind your brother. Or just in front of your brother, depending on which way you look at it. But many of my friends back then were hippies, and they were awake to what was going on. And I just thought it was the hippie movement, I just thought, well, everybody wants to smoke pot, make love, and have fun, which wasn't a bad idea. You just didn't really get anywhere in life, but hey, we certainly didn't want to kill anybody. And but many of them were protesting the war and saying, I remember them saying it's a I can't think of the word. It's like a false war. I can't think of the word that they were using, but they were protesting the war because many of them recognized that we had no business doing what we were doing. It's sad. And when you just think about how they report, I think it's almost 60,000 of our guys, that's what they report anyway, died in this war. God knows how many Vietnamese died in this war. For doing more than trying to protect themselves. Really, because that's the bottom line. We attacked them. They didn't attack us.
Right. Okay. And with that, it is time for our first commercial break. You're listening to Paraversal Universe. We will be right back with our guests for the next segment.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting. The best in paranormal talk radio.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Son of a...
Hey, son.
Mother...
Son? What are you doing?
Hey, Mom. I'm getting ready to listen to Periscope Uncensored.
By expanding your vocabulary.
Well, it is uncensored.
Son, the uncensored part of Periscope Uncensored is Jax and I getting down to brass tacks with all aspects of the paranormal. There's no fluff on our show.
So, no off-color commentary?
I didn't say that.
Awesome!
Son?
I just hit my head.
Oh boy. I'll go get you an ice pack. Catch Periscope Uncensored Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back from our first commercial break, everyone. This is Paraversal Universe, produced by WBHM Digital Broadcasting, also heard on WCET-FM, High Point Radio, and the Rift Radio Network. We're your hosts, Kevin and Jennifer Malik, and we'd like to take a minute to thank everyone who makes Paraversal Universe possible, including graphic art director Lawrence D. Miza, music theme by Matt Stenz, announcer Frank Lee, producer and owner at WBHM Kat Hobson, also to Howie Odell and Lisa Renaga at the Rift family, and to Michael Vera at WCET-FM. Thank you all for carrying our content and working together on our behalf and the behalf of our audience everywhere. And, of course, a huge thank you to God in heaven, whose strength beyond strength is stronger than all, for granting us this wonderful show and opportunity here to be with you all.
Amen.
And appreciation.
Amen from me, too.
I'll third that.
Awesome. And appreciation to the various platforms we are on, including iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Twitch, YouTube, Daily Motion, TalkStream Live, TuneIn, Blog Talk, Podbean, Google Play, Mixcloud, and Paranormal Radio Livestream app, which is streamed and restreamed from various other outlets all over the world via the internet. And this segment of Paraversal Universe is brought to you by the UFO Wisconsin Research Team, Wisconsin's alternative to MUFON. Okay, back to the show. This is Paraversal Universe, and we are talking with conspiracy analysts Riscalla Stephen and Angel Strong from the Red Pill Reality Show. And I know you guys are still with us because you amen, which is cool.
You know, going back to what we were talking about before the commercial break, I think with this whole thing, and what made me sad and angered me, even though I wasn't born yet at the time of that particular war, was the treatment that these poor men got when they came home.
Yeah, well, I got spit on.
They got spit on. They got called all kinds of names. It was horrible. I felt so bad hearing and reading about that.
I was, again, I think this was part of the political ploy back then. We were called baby killers. And I got to be honest with you, in some cases they did that. People, this is why sometimes on my show, I'll be talking about things like this. I become very emotional because people don't realize what goes on in war. They just have this cosmetic idea of what they've seen in the movies and stuff like that. It's nothing like that at all. And it's horrible. It's horrific. It's possibly the main reason that 22 of our soldiers who come home kill themselves every day because they can't deal with what they've seen and done. It makes you operate under a completely different sense of right and wrong when you're involved in a situation like it's all about you and your brothers or whoever's with you that you're protecting. Everybody else is the enemy, and you do anything to protect them, whatever that might be. So going off and doing these things, these horrific things, and coming back and then trying to deal with it is a pretty difficult thing for a lot of these guys. And that's why we see so much of it going on. In my personal opinion, we don't belong anywhere. In any of these places, we don't. That's my personal opinion. I'm not privy to what's going on around the world with regard to the leaders. I'm just privy to knowing the logic that we have used to repeatedly do this over and over again. And to me, that it's wrong. It's just no other way to explain it. It's wrong. It's unjustified. And it may be even technically illegal if there is a law that keeps one country from just attacking another country. I mean, making up a reason and then attacking another country. So there's a lot of things that this country has done that are less than honorable, but we have done much more that is honorable. And that's what I try to focus on, even though we have the reality of what we have to live with. That's part of the truth. And from there, it's just an everyday thing for me, dealing with it every day, day in and day out. Like, what did I just find out the other day? Yesterday, I was reading an article about, this is the kind of respect that we get from people who are within our government. I was reading an article about, now this didn't happen during this administration, it happened during the wonderful last administration. Remains of the servicemen coming over from various places, Iraq, Afghanistan, were found in the dumps, literally in the landfills. Their remains were located in the landfills. This is the kind of respect that these people were getting from our government, the people who send them over there so that they can make more money. And while they're over there, well, they're very valuable. But as soon as they come back or something happens to them and they can't do what they need to do for them anymore, they're trash. This is what happens. This is what we deal with. So this is the reality of for me that I see going on. Anyway, I've taken enough.
That is disgusting. That is, and I know what you're talking about. I know that the Obama administration was getting rid of servicemen's bodies, servicemen and women's bodies in dumps. Yeah. I mean, that to me is the most disgusting, despicable. That tops the chart on treason, in my eyes, of how they treated the remains of people. And you're talking about people like Obama that wouldn't get out of his bed to even do anything for this country other than cut it down and criticize it.
Yeah.
I mean, and you talk about the Vietnam War, we're looking back at people that were like, what, the average age, 20 to 22 years old. They were still young kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Millions of men left to go fight the war believing one thing, that they were doing truth and justice. And by the time they came back home, they realized that they were manipulated and lied to. And on top of that, like Jennifer said, then you have the people treating them like crap, and even today, it goes on today.